How y'all doing? Thanks, David. I have an interest in this issue. My major is planning and community development, and that's where my issue comes from. And the question is gentrification happening in South Minneapolis to the Latino community, African American community. It's a diverse area, and the neighborhood that we're going to be talking about is really a neighborhood within a neighborhood. The neighborhood is Lynn Lake, and it runs from, I want to say it starts DuPont and Lake Street, and then Uptown starts from there, and it goes all the way up to, I think it's Nicollet, that strip on 35W, you might as well say. It runs through 4 different neighborhoods. One is Carrag, one is Whittier, one is Lindale, and one is Laurie Hill East. I'm gonna start off with the incomes of these neighborhoods, then I'll go into the developments. First of all, what is gentrification? The process of renewal and rebuilding accompanying the influx of middle class and affluent people into a deteriorating area that often displaces poor residents. Amenities play a huge factor in gentrification, such as access to public transportation and bike trails, along with the arts and entertainment. With Lake Calhoun a few miles up the street, the Lynn Lake neighborhood is prime area for developers to cash in. The 4 neighborhoods that make up that Lynn Lake runs through: Lower Hill East, Whittier, Carrag, Lindale. These 4 neighborhoods share some aspect of Lynn Lake. Now this is the median income for the neighborhood of Carrag, which is at, I use these statistics because Minneapolis hasn't updated their statistics, but I contacted them and they said that the numbers are close, if not lower than what they are right here. And the median income for Carrag is $37,615. And they're, as far as the city's concerned, they're like 8% below the poverty line. Families, yeah, family homes, yes. Lower Hill East is 33,000, and they are 5% below the poverty line. Lindale is 29,000, and they're, I want to say 18% below the poverty line. Whittier is at 28,328, and they're at 22% below the poverty line. And this is what they're building in these neighborhoods. Started off at the low 300,000. So that is not for the people or the residents of that area, nor are they trying to attract working class families who are making those incomes. In this section right here is a Laurie Hill East. Now this is where gentrification plays a factor. The average median income in the 4 neighborhoods in which these developments are being built is about $30,000. So who are these units being built for? Not the residents of Lynn Lake. So now an influx of yuppies will call these new developments home, while the original residents are faced with raising property taxes. This is a development, Lower Hill East, and I'm going to compare this with East Austin because East Austin also is going through this, but they're on a bigger level. That is really like, this is slowly happening, but theirs is completely engulfed whole neighborhood. And this is a townhome that, like two townhomes in there, and they go for about $300,000 next to, you know, a normal house where a family lives. And this is East Austin. So you can see the comparison. This is a new development, and that's the house, and they slowly take over the block, and they keep going until people have no choice but to move because they can't afford the rising property taxes. This is a view of another block, so now you see the apartment building, the townhome, and this is what the neighborhood looked like when I was young and running through this area. I had a cousin living in the Lindale neighborhood. We was always running through here. These developments on there, it was all houses. This is another picture of East Austin. This completely makes no sense. You have small home, 1 level, then you have this $250,000, $300,000 home. They will be left out in the long run.
That big one?
forced migration. The best way to rid a neighborhood of undesirable people is to make it financially out of reach. So they will have no choice but to migrate to somewhere else. This technique is being used in the Lynn Lake neighborhood in the same way it was used in El Barrio in East Austin. This is another development. This is right behind. That's why I say it's block by block. This is right behind that next development, so then they come over on the next block and they build another one. This is still Laurie Hill. Now this building is them, represents them crossing over. This building is called the Morals. Down here you have your sushi shop, your swanky coffee shop, and this is the other side of Lindale. That's the Whittier neighborhood. Egg and I, that's a staple. That place been there since like the 60s, 70s. People come from all around to go there. They only open like 3-4 hours a day, something like that. Intermediate arts. In an effort to bring economic development into El Barrio, the idea of turning it into a tourist destination was born. Where in Lynn Lake neighborhood, they want to turn it into a playground by appealing to the young middle class and upper class citizens. In doing so, they would first need to make it more appealing, so a name change needs to happen so it can appeal to a different demographic of people. And this can possibly erase its history. Now with Lynn Lake, this is one of the amenities. The bike trail runs all through the south side. You can take the uptown, get off, catch the bus, take it all the way down to the global market. This is a big deal because this is how they advertise the buildings for people to get them and come in. This is a view of Glendale Avenue. You see the karate dojo. It's certain things that they brought into the community that wasn't there before to appeal to others. The coffee shops. The Jungle Theater has always been there, and that's a draw. Gentrification is attracted by the arts. They're attracted by culture. You know, they like to go up to the global market, the Latino community. They like to be a part of that, but what they're doing is really, in the long run, they're going to kill it because people are going to have to leave. This is the Lindale Lake Street corridor. This is why it's called Lindale. Lynn Lake, because Lindale run this way, West Lake Street run this way. That neighborhood on that side is Lindale. Across the street is Whittier, Lower Hill, and Carrab. Now this is where the blue apartments is here, and this is where the name change come in. Now they named this building Uptown. Uptown is like a mile or two up the street. And I was riding over there one day with somebody who was from there, and they kind of threw me off, and I asked them, I'm like, Uptown start right here? They was like, yeah, Uptown has always started right here. I'm like, no, it's not. They was like, yeah, this is Uptown. And just right there, like, it messes with your perception just because of that. It's overpowering. Calling the neighbor Upper Carnegie Hill in Yorkville to appeal to the upper class residents they wanted to attract. The residents became upset because they were attacking the identity of the community. Now that was El Barrio, East Harlem, Spanish New York, Spanish Harlem. They had tried to change the name to Yorkville and Carnegie Hill to associate it with an upper class. In the case of Lynn Lake neighborhood, they are attempting to change the name to Uptown, which is an exclusive neighborhood with a rich play. Located by Lake Calhoun, the Blue Apartment website boasts that they are in the heart of Uptown. This is a lie, but a technique that is used by most of these upscale apartment owners to attract the upper class crowd. And I'm gonna show you their website. Blue Apartments. The epitome of modern, urban quality style, unrivaled amenities. Minneapolis' hottest new blue apartments, and also located in the heart of Lynn Lake Uptown. I don't understand how, oops, sorry about that. I don't understand how you can have your heart in two places. If you try that in a relationship, you're gonna be lonely. So having it in Lynn Lake and Uptown makes no sense. It's the heart of Lynn Lake. Cool, trendy, green blues mean you can live uptown in an upscale luxury $1 million lifestyle within your reach. Each residence offers a stunning style, floor-to-ceiling windows, a balcony, a patio, washer, dry. Blue delivers the very best in Minneapolis, uptown, rental living, and unrivaled common space in every amenity imaginable. They're like 2 miles from Uptown Hall. And then when you look at the photo, it doesn't reflect the community that they're in. That's Lake Calhoun. That's like 2 miles up the street. That's the heart of Uptown. That's a Lagoon Theater. That's the Blue Apartments. They do a good job at not showing their community. That's the Blue Apartments. That's the bike trail. That's the Lagoon again. Why not show it twice? And that's the Club Drink. That's the church right on Lake Calhoun. That's their apartments. They do a good job at not showing you the real Lynn Lake neighborhood. What's the real Lynn Lake neighborhood? You bump into people who dress like me. You're bumping into Latinos, whites, blacks, skinny jeans, skateboarders. They do a good job of that. You know that? Bus station and amenity. They got for the 4th time. Their little, meeting area in their buildings, which is not open to the public, of course. The blue building. Another shot of the block. I don't know when they shot this, when nobody was outside, but they did a good job. Oh, the blue building again. And the blue building again. So, what they're trying to do is, like, they want to sell you $1 million lifestyle, but when you think $1 million, if you think Lynn Lake, you're not thinking upper class, you're not thinking, they want you to think upper class $1 million lifestyle, and that's not $1 million area. But what they're doing is trying to, I feel like they're just going block by block by taking it over. Because if you go, I'm doing an internship right now at a place called Hope Community, which is located in the Phillips neighborhood. And they actually have a building over there that was supposed to be luxury apartments, but it failed. And it's right located on Chicago. And we came up with, the people who developed that building must not have been there because it was too much too soon. They just went in for the whole, they went in for the whole cake while these people are being strategic and going block by block by block. And I think the only way to stop it is really to rezone it. I don't understand how you can put buildings up like that in a residential area. So, whoops, wrong button. Now, this is the real heart of Uptown. And this, to the right of me, that's a restaurant called, I think it's Cowboy Slim's. That's Lake Calhoun Square behind me. And Stella's Fish right on the other side of me. This is the heart of Uptown. And blue is like that building there. That's a good 1.5 miles up the street. But that's what they're trying to sell you. This is the beginning of Uptown and the end of Lynn Lake. What do you think? This is a question. What do you think? Is this the beginning phase of gentrification? And once again, it's the process of renewal and rebuilding accompanying the influx of middle class and affluent people into deteriorating areas that often displace poor residents.
Hi everybody, I'm Margaret Villanueva, and we've now looked at kind of the idea of colored spaces, segregation, how it works in, and how it changes in rural towns in Minnesota and in the city in Minnesota. And I'm going to do a little bit about an overview of Minnesota in general, and also policies and policies